Hey guys, Espers, friends, and noobs alike. This is Reborn Guinan taking over for Bregan because he's the worst caster I've ever seen. We get to watch SC Warmachine21 play Xanxus, 1v1 tournament, good stuff. He's sick of intros, I'm not good at them, I'm sorry. Let's get right into this.
Yeah. I would like to point out you're not completely taking over. I'm still here.
The intro, I took over the intro.
Okay, the intro. Got it. Hostile takeover knows no bounds, apparently. We're trying something a little bit different here. We're using this little program website to try and sync the videos. So we'll see how this plays out. Exciting match. Xanxus has been really dominant so far.
Yep. Good timing.
See a good aura start out of Xanxus, despite his heavy skilled decks.
I'm happy about that hand in general. Fortress, Flamesword, Armoros, like, everything's good.
Yeah.
War Machine, he's got a purple aura. That could be an Angel's Wing. It could be a Flash Hole, though.
Xanxus, I'm begging you to play with nameplates, man. Please.
Yeah, for real.
Nameplates. Possibly the best player in the game somehow plays without nameplates. Just do it. Even if it's just for me. Come on, Xanxus. I need
So we see a Nature Faith, pretty standard from Xexus. We've only seen some Faith skills from War Machine.
This is Xanxus, not Xexus.
Oh, what's the difference? I digress. Yeah.
One had the balls to enter the 1v1 tournament. The other one sitting on the sidelines.
Called out. So what he did there is really important. You want to have a lot of movement options as a cartwheeler. So right above the opponent's base, making a spot, big. So is blocking that swarm and following with an ice sword.
Yeah, that combo in general, he dodged that flawlessly and followed it up with an ice sword. Not able to capitalize on it. War Machine pretty good at getting away from the swords.
He didn't play the angles very well either.
Yeah. Goes back, picks up a heat. It's going to make his melee a little bit more dangerous here versus War Machine.
Ice sword will now knock down, so no combo there. War Machine still... I feel like if you had an Angel's Wing, it would have already seen play. So I'm wondering if that's like a Flash Hole. He has 2 shields now, so could be anyone's game here. We know the possibility of erase shields.
Baits out the Muramasa there. I think that was a little premature. War Machine
yeah, I think
getting
even
antsy.
if he fell down, it might not have hit.
Yeah, War Machine's getting a little antsy there. Down to 5 health now. Not a good place to be in.
Antsy like that, I don't think he has a close range erase shield or anything yet.
Agony comes out but is blocked.
Yeah, War Machine needs the defense to deal with these swords. They only deal 4. He's looking to manual ahead of time. He doesn't want to lose it. Either he saw the bluff and didn't take it, or he absolutely does not have a shield to work with it.
There goes the Arrow of Artemis. War Machine using the same arsenal he's used in some of the other matches that we've had him in.
Yeah, unfortunately, really strong against jumpers, not very cartwheelers.
I mean, even jumpers, as long as you jump perpendicularly.
Mm-hmm.
Freya especially can jump it almost at will.
Yeah. If they had like a high spawn to your low spawn, it would be kind of rough, maybe.
The other thing worth noting is War Machine has dug really far through his deck already.
And that trick is in hand.
Yep, 5 capsules left.
It's going to be hard to freeze then pop, and he can't pop and block, so he's close to being able to just pop while taking a re-in. I mean, he's able to do it, but he can't do it while taking an arrow. Very well.
War Machine doesn't really have a good angle to hit arrow while he's in his base, though.
He'd have to leave his base, for sure. Yeah, one more skill plus his hand. Still no way to deal with a sword. I don't know if that is an oversight or a poor draw.
I think he does have something to deal with it. He's not trying to yet.
Yeah. It's definitely high priority for me if I'm War Machine.
I guess you're trying to conserve the aura in the face of the diabolical trick.
Yeah, and that's... I mean, right here, I just pop and take the damage. Even if it's arrow, just take the damage. There's not really a way to lose if you do it. He only has 15 seconds to kill you. The flash roll might also be good against arrow. It costs 9 to use it with retain.
Also, with the diabolical trick pressure, he's less likely to wait for 9 aura.
Absolutely, yeah. But yep, just pop, take a hit if you have to. No big deal.
I mean, the impressive thing is that he's gotten all of these pops off, and Warmachine.
He's going for the perfect.
He picked up his own last capsule, so.
It must be a skill that will be more important in his hand than popped, but
I don't know. That Fire Gehenna, yeah, he doesn't have enough health.
it was a concede. It was a respectful concede.
So let's see what our
Xanxus, I'm
second
judging
map
your arsenal
is.
names.
It's still Xanxus.
Xanxus. You know what? I call him Xanxus when he's in the room too. I don't know. I feel like their names. They should have taken the other name at birth. I apologize. I'll probably do that again.
I mean, that's still just their gamer tags at birth. They didn't have gamer tags.
Look, Friggin'. You're gonna poke the bull. You will get the lag.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's getting worse each time.
Welcome to another Group B matchup with my co-caster, the cringiest member of the community, Guinan.
I feel like Xanxus should have backed there. I didn't like that hand. He overrode his DBT. That could hurt him later.
Thing is, like, Xanxus seems to have almost an entirely different priority than I do, and I know you and I have very similar when it comes to hitting back on his hand or not, because he overloads his arsenals, and he has almost no compunction against overwriting. Like, it seems odd. Like, I really would like to go back through his footage at some point and examine when and why he hits the back button versus when and why I would have. Because he does it at completely different times than I would normally do it.
We see this Opti. I'm not sure about that play. His opponent's on low aura. Okay, he has an aura cannon, but he didn't have a shield when he played it. So, that's unfortunate. Ice Sword on 3 cost, still usable a couple times.
Yeah, off to a pretty brutal start. We do see the reincarnation dodge on a Warmachine, but it does knock him off the map.
Yeah. Some odd angles for swords. He can get walked here.
But yeah, Xanxus is very interesting. Just the way he plays is very different from how I see almost all of the other highest tier players play, like arsenal building wise. And for a long time, like, I've been a critic of his arsenal building, but it continues to work, and he continues to be one of the top players. So it's worth examining what is he doing that he's doing right.
Yeah. I think it's a works for him scenario. Not saying it wouldn't work for anyone else, but it's not universal. Also, Warmachine, no shield. We kind of knew how that was going to end. Unfortunate for him. He's got to be able to stop this melee, or he's not going to come back. And we're on
City.
Not Pano? Is it City?
Refinery?
Does he not know? Okay. Alright. This is still a map where the melee could punish, so let's see what happens.
This time he's running his Bravery deck. We see this most games out of Xanxus on Refinery.
And City sometimes. Or Lane sometimes, too.
Picking up the trend. I've been watching enough of Xanxus' arsenals. I know the 5 or 6 that he relies on the most and where he's likely to use them right now.
You guys should, too, if you're going to play him.
I'm not even...
Research pays
I
off.
don't want to do it all.
Well, next opponent is you, so watch your game film, children.
Yep.
Alright, so we see Bravery, so a little different strategy from him. He doesn't have the quick Bravery hand, but he has a good aura start. Orban acquisition.
So we do actually see him use a back button there. And I think that, yeah, he did actually use a back button. He had 2
And it was
braveries.
a very good one.
Yeah.
Because it was a bad hand. What was it? 1 aura in hand? Something.
I think there was no aura in hand, and he had 2 braveries. See, now he's like perfect. Bravery.
Yeah, this is a beautiful hand.
I mean, personally, I'm not a huge fan of starting with orb in my hand. I hate orb, personally.
And if you're 1v1 and you're playing Bravery, I think it's okay.
It's also not as bad if you're a cartwheeler, but like when you're a jumper, like you need that extra button for a shield, whereas a cartwheeler, you can kind of fudge it unless you really are getting taken advantage of in some way or form.
Yeah, especially if you want a melee and a ranged race defense.
Well, and he got almost a perfect start there by his 3rd hand set up with Bravery, a shield, and orb.
I think it was like statistically perfect, honestly. Hopefully that's a fortress or a flash roll or something Strong. We see is that a yellow aura on him?
He also didn't have to overwrite anything other than a starting point. You know,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, this is
a gorgeous
basically
start.
everything working nicely. SC got faked out with the eraser. He can't get back to his base, but he's got to. Definitely does not have the tools in his hand.
Yeah, every time he goes to base, he's just in the line of fire, and we see the first railgun connect there. +4 cluster bomb is not going to be merciful either. Second railgun knocks him off the map. You're in a
That is not
shooting
the blue
gallery.
I want. That is not the blue I want to see in my hands. I want that other shade.
Trying to finish off with a cluster bomb for style points at this point.
Yeah. Very few things punish more than bravery skills when it comes to not having enough defense at the ready.
Well, and
You
a
just need to
perfect
be able to
bravery
block
start
it.
like that too, you know.
Mm-hmm. If you would have erasered the cluster, I mean, it wouldn't have made a difference, I guess, at this point. Like a Psycho Shell is kind of what I want to see. Or a Photon Barrier. No,
There goes
that
the last
accuracy's
cluster
hot.
bomb. Xanxus wins. I don't even think he took a point of damage in that series.
It was pretty straightforward. Warmachine just maybe just seemed a little less prepared than needed for the
Yeah.
strategies Xanxus was going to bring out.
Yeah, maybe a bit of an off day for him, but that was a pretty brutal series. Xanxus keeping up his 3-0 streak on everybody in his group so far. We'll have to see if anybody is even able to take a map off of him before he leaves group stage, showing exactly why he won the last tournament.
It's interesting. He's bringing the same stuff, so I want to see the people remaining maybe do a little more research and be a little more prepared for the kind of things he's going to bring to the table.
Yeah. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll have more Group B and 1v1 tournament coverage coming out soon.